What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some more RPG horror stories. I've had to put some videos that I wanted to work on a little bit on the back burner when I get some RPG horror stories done, so the homebrew video and some of the other silly stuff I wanted to do with Mary is going to be on hold. But don't worry, I'll try to get that done as soon as I can. But in the meantime, please do enjoy yet another RPG horror story video. Speaking of RPG horror stories, I hear the ones for this video are going to be pretty juicy. DM must serve the players. I've dodged a bullet. I'm collecting people for my online campaign, and that guy wanted to join in. He did not want to send text for game details elaborations. If they're asked to send text, I was unable to listen. Instead, he sent voices too and desired immediate answers. I repeated my conditions, and his voice called me. He demanded me, as the DM, to adapt to all players' desires. I just told him to go freak himself because I could not speak. He called me a spineless yelper and blocked everywhere. Happy and, I guess, what a weird short story to go off, but I guess the most important part is demanding your DM to be at your beck and call for all your dreams and desires. Listen, DMs are not here to serve you the fun. They're not a fun dispensing machine. DMs are players. They want to play too. They want to have fun as well. And you can have fun together, collaborating, having a good time, and having player characters take player character actions, and DM telling them what happens in the world and how things are rolling and decide different challenges. It's not a players and DM like situation, just a bunch of players playing together, and everybody's playing different roles. Some people playing player characters, one person's playing as a DM, and there we go. You just have fun together, right? Next story for today. I lost my first character because Wizard lied to the DM and party. So I'm a forever DM of 4 years. One of my games are run at a bar. I met a player who's willing to run Dragon Heist for myself and 3 other friends I know from the bar. I am ecstatic. I only played one-shots or quote-unquote campaigns that run at max 2 sessions. This guy legit wants to run Dragon Heist all the way to Mad Mage at level 20 game. Hyped as hell, I devised a paladin character I've always wanted to play. We soon begin playing. Fast forward to last session and we are round 5 out of 5 of an arena-style battle. Druid is down but about to be eaten by an ooze. Barbarian is attacked little enemies instead of the ooze because the DM gave her the Berserker Great Axe session 2 of the campaign, so she doesn't have control of the character currently. I'm full HP, but Wizard is half HP. I ask him, crap, how many spell slots do you got? None, I just used my last one. Now, this is technically true. I assume it was a cantrip spam time for him, so my good aligned paladin who always goes in to support his friends no matter what, uses his entire turn to get close to Druid since the ooze will soon kill him. I get in melee range, but unfortunately I use my whole action economy to get there. I have my shield out for protection and hope for the best. That wasn't enough, Lamau. Ooze ends up doing near max damage to me with both hits, which drops me to 0. Speed ahead a couple of turns and surprise, myself and Druid die. It's not until after combat that Wizard reveals his epic plan. He blatantly said, "You guys didn't remember I had a fireball scroll. I didn't want DM to know I was gonna spell sculpt around Druid." I'm so pissed. It's my first real character and he dies because Wizard didn't stop me from going over to Druid. He would have said, hold up, I got this, so I wasn't in danger. Instead, he allowed me to go over there and die, and Wizard didn't even use that scroll that combat. Also, what was the DM gonna do? Give an ooze counter spell all of a sudden? DM has been mostly super good the entire time. There was zero reason to withhold that information from us. I more or less forced DM to have the conversation with Wizard after session about that behavior, but man, it felt so freaking bad to lose my only real campaign character I love playing because of that scenario. Thanks for reading, thank you for posting, and yeah, I'm kind of on you on board with that. What a Wizard gonna do? What do you think the DM is gonna do? Oh, the ooze suddenly has a counter spell. It counter spells your fireball. Whenever I DM and play some sort of ace in a hole like dynamite or another cool magical item or a spell scroll they can use, I'm actually excited and ecstatic that they can get to use that, because that is the coolest part about D&D. Using the tools at your disposal and use them strategically in various different situations and making decisions as a group, as a team. Our fireball would have taken care of this no problem, and the players probably would be able to recover. Panel would be able to walk over, maybe, I don't know, toss some healing onto the Druid, or at least just be there to help pick him up once they're good to go. I don't know why the Wizard just withheld that information for that, as if like they didn't trust the DM, or they thought DM was going to try to screw them over. Also, most DMs have copies of the player character's character sheets, so they probably know what you have. Like whenever I'm playing, right, we're playing on Foundry with my friends and stuff, and like I see everything my player characters have, the features they have, the items they have, and that's just part of it. As a DM, I should know what my player characters have, and I should be aware of what my player characters have. It should be transparent between player and DM, because I gotta try to build an encounter around what they can do and what they can't do. And if they have an item they can use, yeah, I definitely want to make sure that's possible for them to use it. But like keeping it secret from the DM at a table where you're playing together just seems really strange. It'd be one thing if the DM was one of those people that uses out of game or like strategy information to like screw players over, and that would suck definitely. But in this situation, according to OP, DM wasn't that kind of guy. DM was just there just to help facilitate the game and have people run for fun. So I just don't understand why the wizard did that. Well, at the end of the day, I mean, what happened happened. Definitely don't want to be that wizard. Communicate with the party and try to be a good teammate. Let's get to the next story for today. Player doesn't talk to other PCs. Complains session is boring. So I decided to invite my brother-in-law to join my tabletop RPG group with some college friends I've been running for just over a year now. We're polite with each other but not super close, since he and my sister didn't start dating until after I moved out of the family home and out of state. I do this tabletop RPG thing to stay connected with my college buddies since we're all over the country these days. We're gearing up for a new campaign. I thought it'd be cool to invite him along. Since all my friends were new to tabletop RPGs, I started with some simpler systems like Powered by the Apocalypse and Kids on Bikes, just to help them get comfortable with the basics. For this new campaign, they wanted to try Dungeons & Dragons for real, so we're going for it. Plan a couple of one-shots to introduce the mechanics since it's way more complex than what we were doing before, and I invited my brother-in-law to join these to get comfortable too. As far as I knew, he didn't play tabletop RPGs before, but he's really into MMO video games and stuff, so I thought it'd be easy transition for him. Depends on the MMOs, yeah, there's definitely a massive overlap between MMOs and D&D. Like, as somebody who plays Final Fantasy XIV and I've played countless different MMOs in my experience, yeah, I think my favorite MMORPG or RPG is D&D. Even better than Final Fantasy XIV. I love Final Fantasy XIV. I have like 6,000 hours on Final Fantasy XIV and probably 7,000 hours by this time. But I still really love, I probably have to choose D&D over Final Fantasy XIV, if to be honest. He showed up to the first one-shot with a character sheet already made for another campaign. It's a level 6 character and he wants to use it for this session. For this one-shot, I intended to start everyone at level 1 to ease them into the mechanics, and then for the second one-shot, I was planning to have them level up their characters to level 3 to help them learn the process. So I told him he could keep the same race, class, and backstory, but we need to drop him to level 1. This wouldn't take long, especially since we were playing on roll 20 with a charactermancer. I don't know what that is. He was just a human fighter, so it wouldn't be hard to make. The only thing I mentioned for all characters was that they'd all be part of a monster hunting guild. He gets that sorted, and we kick off the one-shot. I gave each player a little cutscene to introduce their character as they arrive in town, dealing with some missing children. My brother-in-law's character comes in last. He just storms past everyone into the tavern, gets an ale, and doesn't talk to anyone. The rest of the party start investigating around town and interviewing folks to keep out what's going on, while my brother-in-law just hangs out in the tavern. I keep asking him if he wants to meet up with the other players or question some patrons in a bar and figure things out, but he says no. After about 30 to 40 minutes, the others finally make their way to the tavern with a suspect in hand. So my brother-in-law's character gets up, takes his mug, and chucks it at the suspect. Tells me he wants to skewer the suspect above the fireplace. Some patrons try to break up the chaos, and that leads to a full-on combat with everyone. After the party's main suspect gets killed and skewered, the players have to head out for more clues, while my brother-in-law's character goes back to the bar to pour himself more ale. Then around 2 hours into the session, he suddenly says he has to go and logs off Discord in a hurry. Wow, that is totally not awkward or anything. I'm assuming the reason they logged off Discord because they're probably thinking in the back of their head like, oh crap, I'm really awkward right now, I'm logging off, and just decided to save themselves the embarrassment of trying to actually interact with the world. I don't know, man. How can you just sit around for 30 to 40 minutes at a tavern and literally do nothing? And as soon as the action is brought to you, you decide to interject in the most awkwardest way possible. Just suddenly, I don't know, you see a couple of people apprehending a person, you think, aha, that is a suspect. I want to immediately skewer them and throw stuff at him and kill them. Are you okay? You're making a serial killer? I'm making a psychopath? That's some psychopath-ass behavior. The best thing you could do for your character, especially if you're new, is to actually try, actually interact, actually participate. Not just sit around the tavern and wait for things to come to you. I get whenever you make a new player character, and when you want to make a super cool, broody, edgy guy that sits in a corner drinking beer to themselves, looking broody and mysterious. But like, that's not gonna involve you into anything. Clearly, the DM is focusing on other players and like, hey, you want to join them? Do you want to talk to any patrons? Do you want to, do this thing called participate? No? Just want to drink ale in the back of the corner, looking mysterious and broody and stuff, and do nothing? I did ask like 7 times now, so I guess I'll leave you alone to do whatever you want to do. If you're going into a TTRPG for the very first time, the best thing to do is, I don't know, maybe if you're nervous, ask DM, hey DM, what would be the best thing to do in this situation? How can I get involved? What's the best way to, you know, break the ice and get myself feeling comfortable? Probably the best thing to do would be just to get yourself involved, interact with other players, in character and out of character, interact with the world, in character and out of character, and engage. I don't know. Maybe there was a reason for it. Maybe something came up. I don't know. The next day I text him to see if he's okay, and he doesn't respond. So I text my sister and she tells me he's okay, but he was complaining to her about being really bored the whole time, and through the session was way too long. Says RPGs shouldn't drag on like that. We'd only been playing for 2 hours when he left. After that, he ghosted level 3 one-shot and even skipped out on session 0 for the new campaign. I reached out to him and he said he didn't need my help to make a character, that he'd just do it on his own. I told him I totally believe he could make a character, but I still wanted to chat because I wanted to work his character into the world I'm building and create some plot threads for him in a campaign. But I never heard back. Sounds like this guy is kind of insecure about what he is doing. He doesn't understand what RPGs is about. He had maybe like a perception, an idea in his mind, but it wasn't that. So, but instead of like asking the DM, so hey, what should I do? How should I get involved? They kind of just freaks out and like, I gotta go, just gotta wrap up real quick. And basically just misunderstood about the whole point of it. And instead of trying to understand and talk to the DM, they instead complaining to their fiance, wife, whoever, about like, oh, it was so boring and it took so long. Yeah, it took so long because you're probably sitting around doing nothing for 2 hours, dude. If you sit around do nothing for 2 hours, yeah, of course it's gonna be boring. If you were to engage in stuff and see what's going on, then yeah, you probably have a little bit of fun. Also, nobody said you can't make a character on your own. It's just you made a character at level 6, but the campaign starts at level 1. All you need to do is just adjust it. It's not character tuning or massive changes that you need to do. Well, if the character started at level 1 or level 3, if that's what the DM said the campaign is about, just make a character level 1 or level 3. Simple as that. Use that character mancy feature from Roll20. I'm assuming it like helps you like scale your character down or something. I'm not sure, but like maybe use that. I don't know. This guy seems very insecure. I'm getting insecure vibes from this guy. I don't want to start up family drama, but I'm getting to not so subtle vibe that he's not into it, but he doesn't want to tell me, and it's not responding to my text. But there's also the possibility he's a doofus guy who's bad at texting, so I don't know. I plan on talking to him during session 0 and ask him to avoid the lone wolf trope and stuff like that, but he never showed up. My players are super nice, maybe to a fault, and I'm hoping that the more we play with him, the more he'll want to roleplay and get into the story. The plan is to start a new campaign this weekend, and I'm not expecting him to show up, so we will see. It's really kind of you and your players to have a seat open for the dude. Like for real, like actually unironically. You clearly see that the guy is new. It's kind of awkward. Maybe he wants to get into it, he's just a little bit rough around the edges, but they're still welcome to the table. That is the kindest thing y'all can do together. Seriously, what a nice group. Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep a seat open for him just in case he actually wants to consider it, that's fine. But expect him to join, probably not gonna be a good idea. Expect your core group to be there. But if he shows up, then he shows up. And that'd be kind of nice. Maybe he can get out of his awkward stage and actually get into the stuff and actually try to roleplay with everybody. Who knows? Anyway, wishing you all the very best. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales tomorrow. Bye-bye.